Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to make a rolled ice-dyed shirt. I've done several of these and they always turn out looking so cool, so I decided to do another one. This one I'm going to do on a little bit larger shirt. This shirt is a size 3X. I'm also going to fold this one a little differently than I folded the others. I'm going to do, honestly, just kind of a free-form, random type fold. I'm starting by pinching the shirt and making kind of a diagonal fold. Then I'm going to fold part of the shirt back again. Like I said, this is pretty much just I'm making it up as I go along. I got inspiration for the roll design shirts from Mark at Psychedelic Serenity Tie Dye. He's done quite a few of these and they're really cool. Once I have my freeform fold on the shirt, I'm going to find a place and make a line going across the shirt, and that's the line that I'm going to roll. So I'm going to start rolling my shirt as tightly as I can and force the shirt, or kind of promote the shirt, rolling on either side of this line as well. If you're curious, I have several other videos of roll designs out on my YouTube channel. Once I have the shirt rolled, I'm going to fold it in half right on that line that I rolled. I'm going to straighten the rolls just a little bit, and then I'm going to tie it with some kite string. I could use sinew, and I've done that for a couple of the designs, but I want to allow the dye to flow however it wants to, so I'm going to use kite string. The purpose is just to hold the shirt in place or the folds in place. Then I'm going to actually place this shirt aside for a few days. I'm working on some other projects right now, and because the design is thick, I'm going to place it aside and let it dry out just a little bit. I have dyed this design when it's still damp, and it works out, but today I can't get to the shirt, so by the time I do place the dye on the shirt, it's going to be completely dry. For this shirt, I built my color palette around Mindbender B from Dyespin. And so all the colors that I'm going to use are going to be Dyespin colors. And they're going to be colors that I think will go really well with the Mindbender B. I'm going to end up inclining this shirt, so I've placed the shirt down inside of a piece of vinyl guttering, and my piece of vinyl guttering is about 2.5 feet long. I'm going to place another piece of kite string around the end of the shirt, and then I'm going to clip this piece of kite string to the end of the vinyl guttering so that the shirt doesn't slide all the way down to the end of the guttering. Because of how tall this fold is, I need a little extra space at the top of my guttering so that I can place some more ice on there. So to extend my guttering or the sides up a little bit, I'm going to use a couple pieces of plastic cutting board that I've cut into strips. I'm going to place those in between the shirt and the side of the piece of vinyl guttering. Then, because the shirt is completely dry, I'm going to lightly spray it with a little bit of soda ash solution that I've placed inside of a spray bottle. This will help for the dye to stick to the top of the shirt a little better. Then, using a washable marker, I'm going to draw some lines on the shirt where I want to apply the dye. I really should have done that before I added some soda ash solution to the top. Because I built the color palette around Mindbender B, I'm going to add a little bit more of that color than the other colors. So right in the middle of the shirt, I'm going to put a line of Mindbender B. Then up at the very top where I folded the shirt over, I'm going to add more Mindbender B up there. Then I'm going to add Retro, followed by English Violet, and then below that middle section of Mindbender B, I'm adding Deep Ocean and Purple Sage. And like I mentioned, these are all Dyespin colors. The only Dyespin color that is a dark horse dye though is the Mindbender B. And if you're wondering, they do have a Mindbender A, and according to Dyespin's website, the only difference between the two colors is they've added double the amount of blue to Mindbender B. They're both really pretty colors though, so if for some reason maybe Mindbender B is sold out, I don't think you'll be at all disappointed with Mindbender A. Now I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top of the dye, and then I'm going to add on some ice. When I'm adding the ice on, because the shirt is pretty thick and how it curves around up at the top, I'm going to make sure I put plenty of ice up there so that I don't have a big white spot right at the very top of my shirt. I'm also going to add a little bit more dye once I incline the shirt to that area, just to make sure I get good color saturation up in that part of the shirt. I'm going to add the ice on when the shirt is laying flat too, so that I can press it down into the shirt. Then to incline the shirt, I'm going to place one end of this piece of vinyl guttering down inside of a plastic tote, the one that you see on my dye table, and leave the other end of the vinyl guttering hanging off the edge. That's going to incline the shirt. Then I'm going to place this shirt aside and allow the ice to melt. After this layer of ice melted, I still had quite a bit of undissolved dye left on top of the shirt, so I added a second layer of ice and allowed it to melt as well. After the second layer of ice melted, I went ahead and applied some dye to the back side. Because this design is really thick, I'm going to add just a little bit of additional dye to the upper portion of the shirt. Now, the bad part about adding more dye to the back side is, I do have pretty good color saturation, so it's hard to see where I added my colors. I didn't exactly line them up properly. I did add more Mindbender, and then I added a little bit more retro, and then I just kind of left everything else alone. So I didn't line my colors up perfectly, but I did want to make sure I got good color saturation. So I added just a little bit more of those two colors, added a little bit more soda ash, and then I really only added ice to the upper portion of the shirt. Like I said, that's where the thickness is. There's really not a lot of thickness to the bottom area, so I didn't mess with that. After this first layer of ice melted on the back half, I went ahead and added just a couple more pieces to a couple lines of undissolved dye that I saw. Then after all of the ice melted, I left the shirt for about 48 hours before I rinsed it. Okay, so to rinse the shirt, I rinsed it like normal. I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of rinsing for a long time, I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added some Blue Dawn dish soap to the water, placed the shirt inside, and allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I placed the shirt along with some Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent into my washing machine, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so I've washed, dried, and ironed the shirt, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you think? I think this one ended up looking really cool. I really like the Mindbender, and I like the other colors like the purple and the retro, which is kind of like a teal color. I think they all work really well together, and I think that the dye flow in this shirt is super cool. I love the color splits. I love the way the colors work together. I just think it's a really cool shirt. The rolled area going diagonally across the shirt kind of almost looks a little bit like flames, which I think is pretty fun. And then I think maybe some of the purple and blue mixture that's going on down below is probably where I didn't get my colors lined up perfectly, but I think it works. I think it looks really cool too. So overall, I love this shirt. I think it looks really pretty, and I really am having fun with these rolled designs. You know, there are so many different things that you can do and variations you can make to this, like the folding it beforehand, where you draw the line, where you roll it. And so far, I think they all look really cool. I've been having so much fun experimenting with this design. But what do you guys think about it? Do you like this one? Do you like the colors? Drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.